Hey guys, my name is Untitled. I'm a marriage and family therapist. This is video number 2 of the series called Feeling Held Back. So I just want to go over a few points that we had in our last video and then go on to go over the points that this video has to offer. So we said in the last video that the first step to real change is realizing that we haven't been changing, that whatever things we have been doing, they haven't been so successful. Like we said before, that people have the same goals for many years and they don't really seem to have progress, and every year or every once in a while, every few weeks, months, days, years, it doesn't matter, they come back to thinking of, wow, I never achieved that and I really want to get that. And there's a feeling of helplessness, shame, just of like, oh man, I'm getting older, or I need this to happen, or I want this to happen, and it's not happening, and a person kind of feels like it's really never going to change. I want to propose that really we haven't been doing an adequate job with our goal of changing. Many of us just employ behavioral techniques. So I want to come up with a different strategy. This is more in the psychoanalytic view, which has been somewhat abandoned. As many people call our generation the generation of gratification, that we want gratification right away. So I want to offer a new insight on how to achieve our goals, meaning this method may seem to take longer, but in actuality, go slowly and you get farther rather than sometimes going quick and you fall down harder. So the first step is to realize that, wow, we haven't really been changing, that I have not been changing, that something that I've been doing just hasn't been working, and that there needs to be a different strategy, a different way than just, like I said before, the guy that wants to lose weight of, that's it, I just gotta hit the gym, or I just gotta eat better, or I just gotta, be nice to my wife or buy flowers for her, or I just got to be patient and not angry. That kind of thinking and acting, it works for a day or two, but it's really hard to keep going that way all the time, because you always have to be super consciously aware of yourself and of every action or every situation, which is hard. We're just human beings. So behavioral is a little bit external, where you gotta catch yourself, you're not really changing from the inside, while a more psychodynamic analytical method is, it's a little bit more changing yourself from the inside, which does seem to take time. The guy, before he really changes, he'll have to think before going to the gym for maybe a few days or even weeks to realize that he really has to change, and that what he's doing is not going to get him far, and his relationships and everything. So that's step number 1. And the other suggestion that I said in the previous video was that a person should start from scratch. Pick a dream or a goal that you have and just sit back and think about it. Ponder about your dream and your goal, what you want to achieve, and why you haven't been achieving it, why you haven't been changing it, what's holding you back. That's the basic point. I gave an example of a typical random example. It's not such an intense example of a person that wants to have more friends and acquaintances, and what's he do? He goes to parties and he always feels lonely and bored, and he feels just weird being there. But years later, he's still the same guy. He still has the same feeling of like, ugh, what am I doing here? I wish I would feel better being here. So my suggestion would be for that guy to think about, what is so hard for me to go up to people and introduce myself, and to just get to know other people and put myself out there. Just to ponder and think about it, and you'll find many times that many different thoughts that just come fluttering into your mind, and you're going to gain insight into yourself. This man might realize that, he might just think a little bit, and feelings will arrive in his chest and thoughts in his mind, And something as simple as I feel awkward, I feel scared, I feel uncomfortable. Something that he may not even have realized before. Before he just like, oh, I don't want to go. But now he's being a little bit more mindful, and he realizes that something basic, that I just feel awkward. And the next thing that he could tell himself is, okay, I feel awkward, but what about that? What about going up and introducing myself to someone is awkward? That man may realize that really there's nothing awkward consciously for him, but he'll start feeling things, and it'll come to his mind like, I really don't know what's awkward about it, but I feel scared to be turned down. This like feeling maybe of I'm scared to be turned down. Maybe there's not much I can offer. Like why would they want to be friends with me? Or why would, I'm just going to go and bother them? Which is an interesting point, because he could actually ask himself, wait a second, why am I afraid to bother someone? Why am I afraid I have nothing to offer? And like, why would I be turned down? But once again, the person realizes that on a conscious level even, right? That, okay, but there's so many people. I'm bound to come across some people that will like me. I'm a decent human being. So that person could once again ask themselves a little bit of a deeper question of, why am I scared to get turned down at all? That I'm not going to go and introduce myself to anyone or take any active steps. So thinking that, again, kind of, I wouldn't say the word meditating, but thinking back and just, with your mind a little bit relaxed, you may come to realize that, or that man may come to realize that, wow, I feel like I always felt this way. Now that I realize that I always was scared to go and ask someone something or to introduce myself. I was always scared. I'm always shy, even from being a teenager or a child. It could even go that far. And he may come across this feeling of, I feel, incapable when I ask someone something, or, when I'm bothering someone, or I need something from them. And I'm scared that, and now that feeling of potentially being incapable and not likable for that reason, because he's incapable, and what are incapable people? People don't like them, and he might not even like himself on some level because of that, because he feels like he's incapable. He may just have that fear, and it's called projection. He may project that on the people that he wants to introduce himself to, that they're not going to like him. Why? Because he's incapable. So he doesn't want to give that any chance, because if any one person denies him a friendship or an acquaintance, that just confirms his fear of being incapable. So that's just a bit of a breakdown of just how a person could come across to what he really thinks and feels. And the next video will discuss what a person should do with that newly found insight of feeling incapable, and that's why he's scared to go up, because that's just going to make him more incapable potentially, because because if they turn him down, that just means that he can't even make friends, or that he's not likable, because he really isn't capable, because it's going to confirm his own view of himself. Okay, give me a like. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me some comments and feedback. It's always appreciated. If it's too complicated or too simple, you could always give me a comment, ask a question, my email. I'd be delighted to talk to you. Thank you so much.